Hi, I'm Robbin Miller. Welcome to my show, Miller Chat. Today's guest is Connor Schoen. Did I say your last name right, Connor?
Shown.
Schoen.
Yeah.
He's the co-founder of Breaktime Cafe. Welcome to my show.
Thank you so much for having me, Robin. I'm really excited to be here today.
Yeah, thank you out of a busy schedule to make time to come on because this is the work that you do interests me, and I want viewers to learn more about it. So let's
Yeah.
begin. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started the Breaktime Cafe.
Yeah. So I'm actually from Westboro, Mass. Originally. I graduated from Westboro High School in 2017, pretty recently, although it feels like a decade ago at this point. And I went to school at Harvard after Westboro. And in 2018, I was actually working at a shelter for young adults experiencing homelessness, ages 18 to 24. And that's when I learned that 40% of young adults experiencing homelessness identify as LGBTQ+. So this is an issue that disproportionately affects the LGBTQ+ community. And I wasn't someone who was out in high school, but coming into college, as I started to continue to grapple with my identity and working in that shelter, I was really able to find myself and find confidence in my own identity, inspired by the other young people in that shelter who, despite everything that had happened to them, were still so authentic and honest about who they were. So break time for me is all about making sure that every single young person has the opportunities and support they need to reach their full potential. And currently that's not the way it is in this world. And break time, we're fighting to empower young adults experiencing homelessness to build sustainability in their lives while building resilience in their communities. And I can talk more about the model and how we've arrived where we are, but 2018 feels like decades ago at this point. So much has happened in the last few years. It's been such an exciting journey, and it's always great to come back in and talk to folks in the community I grew up in.
Well, you definitely have done a lot in a short period of time based on what I've read about you in the newspaper. I mean, look, you've been in um, Forbes magazine. Can you tell viewers a little bit about that?
Yeah, so that happened in December, I guess at this point. It also feels like years ago. My co-founder, Tony Shu, and I received the honor of being Forbes 30 Under 30 for social impact. And it came totally out of the blue. We didn't know what was happening, but it was a really exciting opportunity for us to get the word out about break time and really inform more people about the issue of young adult homelessness. 1 in 10 young adults in the United States experience some form of homelessness in a given year. And that can be anything from living actively on the street to couch surfing, living in transitional housing, short-term leases, just being unsure about where they're going to stay the next night. And 1 in 10 young people, that's over 4 million individuals in this country. So it's a massive issue. And for the most part, we only see a sliver of the overall picture of homelessness in our day-to-day lives, if we see any of it. And there is so much hidden homelessness in the community. So for us, getting recognized by Forbes was an opportunity to really spotlight the fact that homelessness is something that really affects everyone, but particularly affects 18 to 24-year-olds. And for other young people, it's really helped us to galvanize more support for our mission through the publicity we've gotten. So yeah, it was a super exciting opportunity. I think it really symbolized the power and potential of the young people we work with and everything that we can collectively achieve.
And were you nominated by Forbes? Did somebody go to them or they just found you?
Yeah, so the process is kind of mysterious, but I believe we received nominations online, and then they have a panel of judges who reviews the nominations and makes a determination on the 30 individuals to choose.
Wow, fabulous. Let's talk a little bit about the teen homelessness. What did you find were the causes, just like the top 3 causes, based on the work that you did?
Yeah, so in Harvard Square specifically, I remember in 2018 reading a report that 51% of homelessness for young people was caused by family conflict or roommate conflict. So over half of the cases of young adult homelessness that we're seeing were based on the fact that a young person was being kicked out of their place of living. And a lot of times this centered around their sexuality or gender identity and conflicts of that nature. We also saw a huge incidence of folks coming out of the foster care system and not having a stable bridge to a successful, sustainable future, not having a family or stable home to go back to. And then finally, as a third category, we saw a lot of young people who just had never had that stability in their life. Even if they weren't in the foster care system, they might not have had a stable home life growing up. And so they didn't have that to really fall back on as they entered young adulthood. Um, I think about when I was 18 living in Westboro, and if I had completely lost the wonderful support of my family, I don't know what I would have done. And I think most young people, we'd be lost. We don't, we're not trained to live on our own yet at that age, but yet we are legally adults at that time. And a lot of young people who do get estranged from their family and support in this pivotal moment in our lives where we're really going through so much transition, they get this challenge of homelessness thrust upon them, and they have to manage that on top of the stigma that's attached to it, on
Yes.
top of all of the associated challenges they have to deal with. And for Tony and I, what we realized is that all of the young people we were working with at that shelter, their top concern was actually employment. They were looking for a stable, sustainable stream of income to help to provide a foundation for a sustainable life. And for a lot of young people, because of this instability they're facing in their lives, if they're not able to receive a supportive transitional job, what we call an extended runway for a successful takeoff, then it's incredibly challenging for that young person to feel grounded and to really have the support they need to fully reach their potential. So from what we've seen, a lot of homelessness, at least for young people, is actually coming from temporary periods of instability propagated by family instability for the most part, that transitions into potentially chronic homelessness because there's not the early intervention and the supportive employment provided to prevent homelessness from remaining a reality for that young person.
Wow. The causes, it sounds like something I've heard before. Like that's been a perpetual problem all along. Chronic homelessness for young people, especially for those that come out about their sexuality. I mean, no matter, even though we're in the 21st century, unfortunately, there's still some parents who just they don't see it that way. They're stuck in their own views, and they don't want to. They're not interested in moving.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, and I think it's just a reminder to all of us that there are many people in our community that have faced a lack of acceptance throughout their lives. So our ability to be kind and accepting of people is tremendously important, because you never know what another person is going through. And for a lot of our young people, they feel so stigmatized and isolated because they have all these labels attached to them because of just their housing status. A lot of people assume that mental health and addiction are the driving forces behind homelessness, but actually what research shows is that those are the effects of long-term homelessness. They increase the rate at which folks experience severe mental health illness and substance abuse disorders. Not really the other way around, especially for young people. But our young people are kind of grouped into that category, grouped into a lot of other categories. And then they, further lose a sense of acceptance when all they needed in the first place was that love and acceptance. So I think it's just kind of a reminder for us all to practice kindness and really be accepting of one another, because, that can really mean the world for some of the folks that we work with.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a parent's loss. It's the young adult person's loss, but the young adult person is going to come out of this okay. They're going to come out in a more loving environment that you're agency provides for them feel empowered and know that they did nothing wrong. It's
Hmm.
not them.
Hmm.
It's their parents feeling shame. There's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah, and a lot of our young people, it's tremendous what they're able to accomplish at such a young age.
Mm-hmm.
So the way our model works is we recruit from other nonprofits. We recruit young people who are starting to get some stability in their life. They are maybe in a transitional or rapid rehousing program, providing
Mm-hmm.
short-term housing. They've got a case manager. They've got other supports in their life. And the missing link for them is really employment. So we provide 4 weeks of foundational job training and professional development. And then we place our young people for 3 to 6 months at purposeful transitional jobs, working at other nonprofits to do really impactful work in the community while
Right.
building transferable job skills. So initially, we were going to be opening a cafe to create entrepreneurial job opportunities for young adults experiencing homelessness. The pandemic pushed us to change those plans, and where we've landed is really working with other nonprofits. There's so many amazing nonprofits in Massachusetts, collaborating with these nonprofits to find where there are labor gaps, to find where there are staffing challenges, and to support them by employing and empowering our young people to solve those challenges. So it's been really cool to get to work with such incredible young people in developing this model. And our associates and alumni have been sort of informing every single part of what we do. But a huge part of our model is just empowering young people to do incredible work in the community while learning big and important job skills. And throughout the pandemic, we've really seen these amazing young people step up to the plate
Mm-hmm.
and really prove people wrong and show just what they're capable of. In 2020, for example, through our staffing of a soup kitchen and food pantry operation,
Mm-hmm.
we were able to employ and empower 25 young adults experiencing homelessness to prepare and serve over 650,000 meals to their neighbors in need throughout the greater Boston community. So I'm always just so taken aback by what the young people I get to work with can accomplish. And I think it's just a reminder that for a lot of folks, it's again that missing link of love and acceptance that doesn't exist. And if we can create a sense of family, a sense of the break time family for folks, and create a sense of community, empower people to do impactful work and see their power and potential through that work while developing concrete skills that they can use in their career. You know, it's not a crazy or radical model. You know, it's pretty simple, and we've really found that it's really effective in transforming the lives of our young people while also creating more of a workforce to transform our communities.
Yeah, I read about the food insecurity, how you guys filled that niche.
Mm-hmm.
And is
Yeah,
that something that will continue for the end of the year as well?
yeah. So the way our model works now is we're essentially helping to staff other nonprofits doing important work in addressing the pandemic and other challenges. And food insecurity has been, I guess, one of the hottest topics throughout the pandemic because Massachusetts has seen an increase by 59% in rates of
Mm-hmm.
food insecurity. 1 million people in our state are experiencing some form of food insecurity right now, according to Feeding America. So the workforce needed to address that challenge has gone way up. You know, if a school district saw a 59% increase in their student body over the course of 1 year, they would have to scramble to, you know, create the space and hire all the staff to support that student body. What we've seen is that this 59% increase in the number of people experiencing food insecurity has not necessarily received percent increase in the workforce behind support individuals. And actually, because a lot of food pantries and soup kitchens are mainly volunteer run, and a lot of them are staffed by volunteers who are now unable to go because of the pandemic or because of certain risk
Mm-hmm.
factors. Some of these places are understaffed. So they're understaffed and they're facing higher demand. So for us, the way in which we saw break time adding value to the community was being able to provide staffing support where it's needed the most. And food pantries and soup kitchens in particular have really needed additional support. So by providing a well-trained young person who's motivated and ready to work to these organizations, we're able to increase their capacity while empowering our young people to have this really cool opportunity. Food isn't the extent of what we want to do because our young people are passionate about a lot of other issues.
Sure.
So we've started to work in the community health space as well, helping to staff health literacy programs, helping to staff community health initiatives. Another issue that needs a lot more support, but we can see our model translating to any number of different issues that our young people are passionate about because there's so much work that has to be done. So why don't we create the workforce to get it done and leverage that need to employ more young adults experiencing homelessness who need this employment?
Has any of the community colleges reached out to you to work with you in hand as a community project while they get educated, like say, I don't know, human services or business? Has any of them, the colleges, approached you?
Yeah, so, and that's a really awesome idea. We really want to work more with community colleges. Essentially, our entire model is based in partnership. We never want to reinvent the wheel at Breaktime. We know there's amazing organizations out there doing incredible game-changing work in the community.
Yep.
So we really want to complement the efforts of other organizations. And with the community colleges, so many community colleges are providing outstanding educational opportunities to a lot of the young people that we work with. And therefore, we really want to make sure that our work is complementing what they're doing, whether it's providing part-time work for a young person as they engage in college. We're providing that bridge job opportunity that helps a young person get to the place where they can invest more fully in their education. At Breaktime, we not only hope that young people we work with will achieve employment after they graduate, but we really hope that they'll continue their education in some way, in some form. And we're so lucky to live in a state where the community college system is so robust and there's so many opportunities throughout the state. So we love to plug in our young people into these opportunities and make sure they're connected. We haven't formally partnered with any one institution, but we're part of a community of nonprofits, many of whom are working with these great organizations. There's definitely a lot of potential for partnership moving forward.
Oh, definitely. It's hand in hand, working collaboratively together on the education front and the workforce. Right now, there is a shortage of human service workers, as it is, too. And like you were mentioning, because due to a variety of factors. So I think one of the things the pandemic has taught us about this the need of human service workers. Whether it's delivering food or providing health literacy, that's one of the lessons that came from the pandemic. And hopefully we'll provide those rich opportunities for the people that you work with. We didn't discuss numbers. How many people are on your program?
Yeah, so last year in 2020, we employed and empowered 25 young adults. And this year, our goal is to work with over 100 young people. And we're well on our way to reaching that goal. We're just launching 2 new cohorts of young adults, totaling 25 young people that are going to be going through our program. We've been increasing our staff capacity in order to achieve that and continuing to try to increase our funding in order to expand our program. One exciting goal that we have in the next couple of years is to really bring our model to other parts of the state. As somebody who grew up in Metro West, obviously that's an area, the greater Worcester area is an area that I care dearly about and would love to see Breaktime make its way over there. But there are so many communities throughout Massachusetts: Lynn, Brockton, Lawrence, Lowell, Springfield, Fall River, no shortage of communities that could benefit from this double impact model that works to employ and empower young people in the community experiencing homelessness to do really transformative human service work in their own communities. So we're really excited to continue to be in this growth phase of expanding our model. And each of the opportunities we provide our young people, as I mentioned earlier, involves 1 month of job training and professional development, followed by 3 to 6 months of employment. So it's a really intensive experience. We're not just working with a young person for a day or an hour. We're really working with them throughout the course of almost a full year. So it's an exciting opportunity for us to to keep growing the number of young people we can work with and making sure that every single young person has those opportunities and support they need to reach their full potential.
So tell me, while you were growing up as a young kid in Westboro, did you ever imagine you would be in this space?
So actually, when I was in 8th grade, I was selected to be part of this organization called Project 351. And it's a statewide nonprofit
Mhm.
that engages one 8th grade service ambassador from every city and town in Mass. There are 351 communities across the Commonwealth. And that experience gave me the opportunity to see incredible leaders in the public sector in Massachusetts at work and to realize that I could devote my life to public service and that that was actually a career. I think that's something that is hard to see as you're a young person. You visibly see the sort of the standard work paths, career paths that you can go down. But this experience with Project 351, as a middle schooler, really gave me the opportunity to see this different path for myself. And it really clicked early on that this is where I felt like my passions and my talents really aligned and where I could have the most impact in my life. So in high school and going into college, I knew that the public sector was where I wanted to work. I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do.
Right.
And it was really that experience working at a shelter for young people experiencing homelessness that kind of sparked my passion to do this specific work. And I think for me, I've always found, because of my experience with Project 351, because of some of the work that I did in Westboro Public Schools and service learning and passing on
Yes.
what I learned about public service to other students in the Westboro Public School system, I really sort of fell in love with this model of really empowering people to have agency over something. In high school, it was about service and serving others, but with break time, it's really empowering people to have purposeful jobs where they feel like they can have an impact in the lives of others. And I'm so fortunate to have people who gave me the support I needed to have agency and to be able to make impact in the world each and every day. And I think that everyone should have access to those types of opportunities. So my experience growing up in Westboro really prepared me for the work I'm doing today, even though I didn't know exactly what it would look like or when I would be doing it or what the main focus of my work would be. I had a feeling that, this was the right path for me, and I want to follow the lead of some of the amazing service heroes that I witnessed in action through my time with Project 351.
Wow. Now we have 5 minutes left, so talk a little bit about the partnerships or anything else that you would like to add. But I know you have a lot of partnerships on your website.
Yeah. So like I said earlier, everything we do at Break Time is through collaboration. So Break Time partners with organizations such as Catholic Charities Boston, Action for Boston Community Development, the American Heart Association, Commonwealth Kitchen, and a myriad of other nonprofits at which we place our young people. Like I said earlier, almost every single nonprofit in the Commonwealth could use additional capacity support. And every single one of the young people I work with could use an empowering job opportunity. So we really exist at the intersection of those two things and are constantly coordinating to make those purposeful transitional employment opportunities possible. The other side of our partnerships is our partnerships with our referral partners. So as I mentioned earlier, we recruit all of our young people through referrals from other organizations. So instead of, going to a shelter, and we actually used to do this and changed it, but instead of going to a shelter and, kind of directly recruiting a young person, we work through their existing support network so that we can provide what we call an extra spoke on their support wheel instead of providing a spare tire. And what I mean by that is, if you're, sort of in a place in life where you're starting to get support from a case manager and you've got, different folks and organizations in your life already providing support, if another organization comes in and sort of displaces that support system, it can be really disruptive to the life and journey of a young person. So we like to work in community with the other nonprofits already in touch with those young people by accepting nominations from those organizations of young folks who would be a good fit for our opportunity. It also allows us to streamline recruitment. And we're in a big recruitment push right now, actually, for young people. As I mentioned, we're starting 2 new cohorts totaling 25 young people. And by working with other nonprofits, it really strengthens the value of all of our work. When it comes to collaboration, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, and each of us working together can achieve a significant more impact than we all could working separately. So we're all able to kind of specialize, and Breaktime is able to focus on our core area of purposeful transitional employment, while other organizations continue to provide those parts of the support wheel that they focus on for each of the young people. So there's really 2 sides to our partnership model. Again, the referral partners, which I just mentioned, and then our site partners, who are the organizations at which we place young people for employment. So we're made stronger by all the incredible organizations in the community. And as we continue to grow, we're excited to forge new partnerships with other organizations who can work with us to continue to grow this model and employ and empower more young people.
Sounds amazing. Absolutely amazing. And thank you for the work that you do. I appreciate that. So why don't you just tell the viewers how they can contact you, your website?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you so much again, Robbin, for this opportunity to speak with the Shrewsbury community. Again, right in my backyard, this is where I grew up. If you'd like to learn more about the work we're doing, you can visit www.breaktime, that's BREAKTIME.org. There's a contact form on the website, which you can use to reach out if you're interested in volunteering, supporting our work in any way. We are really a grassroots organization and rely on the support of the community. So if there's any way in which you feel compelled to support our work, we really appreciate your support. There's also a donate page on the website if you feel compelled to support our work financially. Every single donation goes towards employing and empowering young adults experiencing homelessness in the community. So this is an issue that you really care about, and you believe that every single young person deserves the opportunities and support they need to reach their full potential. We greatly value and appreciate your donation through our website. So please visit our website. We'd love to connect with you, love to work with you, and are always excited to add new members to the Breaktime family.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Connor, for coming on my show. This is Robbin Miller. Thank you very much, Connor Schoen, right? Joan from Breaktime Cafe coming on my show. And good night.